What's good, everybody on YouTube? It's your boy Akil McLeod back with another live video. Today, I'm switching things up just a little bit. I'm going to be heading out of town just for a couple of days, so I decided to still go live. I still wanted to keep the live shows going. I usually always do these live shows 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Switched it up today. Decided to jump on here at 11. So if the response is good and we can get some good people in here, like a good amount of people in here, I should say, I might want to switch up the time. But I do know just maintaining a schedule is super important for YouTube and just being convenient for everybody that watches the channel and wants to soak up some of this information. So like I said, just wanted to switch things up. Today, we're just going to hop on here a little earlier. So I'll wait for a few more people to I'll wait until YouTube kind of pushes it out there. Let some more people know that I'm live and here for just about an hour. Like I said, I'm going to be heading out later on today. The wife and I are going to be trying to jump into some new business ventures. So that's the reason why, we're going to be heading out of town for a little bit. And the thing with me is that I'm always into new challenges, big challenges, something different to shake it up. And as you guys can see, eBay is doing really well. The YouTube channel is starting to grow, but I'm always still tinkering with different ideas, still trying to put out those different streams of income. As I tell people all the time, it's super important to do. You got to have, you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket, but at the same time, you also want to continue to grow and expand and challenge yourself as things start to change up. So let's see. We got some people in the chat already. We got Terrell Williams in here. How you doing, brother? What's going on? Just the two of us. Hello from Dallas. Learned so much from you. That's what's up. Mr. Mormo, I'm at a 9 to 5. Well, you at work, but you about to soak up some knowledge too. So that's what's up. We got Kix Griffey. What's going on, bro? How you feeling? Dante all day. I love you in the channel. That's what's up. All love. I appreciate it. Express that. What's going on? So that's what's up. You got some different faces in the chat, some different names in the chat. So that's really dope. I figured it would be a different crowd in here only because, we set up the time. So as you guys come in, if you guys have any reseller or entrepreneur questions, definitely shoot that in the chat. I'm going to try to get to those as soon as possible, try to answer everything that I can. And I'll stay on here for about an hour. So hopefully, more people come in. The questions are good. And this time I'm probably going to be a little more strict with the time. Just about 12 o'clock, I'm going to try to make my way out of here. First thing I wanted to discuss was the new eBay Great Price Badge. I know somebody dropped a comment on one of my previous videos, asked me my opinion on it. And I was checking it out, tried to do some more research. They just dropped a small notification in the eBay. It's almost like the eBay Seller Hub. They kind of put notifications and posts in there sometimes. And when I did see that, the YouTube viewer's concern was that I talk about the race to the bottom, especially when you're dealing with shoes that's flooded from Ross, just any items that's super flooded. If say it was on clearance in every Walmart across the country, of course, tons of resellers are going to flock to those items, right? So the whole Great Price Badge that they're applying to some certain items, I think it might intensify that race to the bottom. The people that are happy with gaining $6 to $8 profit on items that they really should be holding until they can get more profit, those people might feel a little more incentivized to try to drop their price as low as possible. Now the tricky part with that is that I also read within that Seller Hub post is that it's not just going to be based on price. It's going to be based on the seller's performance. It's going to be based on the description, how well they were able to create their listing, the quality of the photos. It's going to be based on a lot of different things. And I know for a fact eBay has always favored that white background, especially since they started creating that almost like an app where you can literally delete the background and just make it pure white within eBay. So I know they're really fond of those type of pictures. So it's a lot of different factors that's going to play on whether or not certain people can even have that Great Price Badge. So for me, I think it will incentivize people to kind of continuously drop their price. But at the same time, that's something that's always going to happen. In any business you're dealing with, you're always going to have people that are going to try to undercut, that's going to try to, make their price as cheap as possible. But with that being said, when people know they're giving good deals, they tend to slack on the customer service. They tend to, it's just a lot of different things. When a great way to sum that up and what I'm trying to say, you get what you pay for. Oftentimes those people that, have the lowest prices on everything. Those are the people that tend to, try not to put the most amount of care. They don't care about how long it takes to ship the item out. They don't care how they package it. It's a lot of different things that you guys are going to see with this great price badge. So it's actually brand new. I think I just started seeing them roll it out with just a few items. Mainly I've been seeing it within the electronics category, since I know that is a very competitive landscape as well. But like I said, it's super new, so we'll see how it affects the marketplace as a whole. I'm not too worried about it, only because I know for a fact feedback and overall like customer service, like your ratings, when people buy certain items from people, the handling time is something that they always look at, but the feedback is something they always look at as well. So I pride myself on like providing good customer service, pride myself on, maintaining strong feedback. And that's just one of those things that I think will always set you apart from the crowd. It's some things that's out of our control. That great price badge, I don't know who they're going to put it on, how they're going to decipher who gets it and who doesn't, especially if it's a bunch of sellers with the same price, same photo quality, same feedback. A lot of things are going to be similar, but it is what it is. I'm not too concerned about it. And I think that's just the attitude we all just have to adopt. It's one of those things where when you're in business, change is going to come, change is going to happen. It's literally going to be things that's completely out of our control, as we've all seen, with this pandemic. So I'm just trying to, stay positive with all of these things, because it's some stuff that's just completely out of your control, but you just adapt and evolve. Because if you're not evolving, you're dying. So let's see who's in the chat. We got Charleston in the building. That's what's up. Let's see. Hey, here from Florida. How you doing? That's what's up. You got Florida in here. That's what's up. Mary C. What is better than Craigslist to sell in person? I don't do Facebook. Well, that's a good question. So a lot of people, I know a lot of people like Let Go. A lot of people like Offer Up. Those two platforms, a lot of people like. Craigslist, I'm not going to say is dying. I know a lot of people have kind of moved on and drifted away from Craigslist. I know for myself, I used to put a lot of stuff on Craigslist, especially those items that kind of bulky, kind of heavy, kind of awkward to ship. Those type of items is the stuff that I love to post on Craigslist and, just other local platforms. But it's tons of different stuff. I know for a fact Offer Up and Let Go are really popular. So you might want to look into that, especially since you don't like Facebook Marketplace. But I know a lot of people that sell shoes and they're killing it on Facebook Marketplace. They enjoy the negotiating. They enjoy that, that one-to-one contact. Me, I'm not so much a fan of that. I kind of prefer the online sales aspect of it, where somebody just literally sees the price. It is what it is. They purchase it, and I don't have to negotiate on pricing and stuff like that. So let's see. Watched you grow before you're moved, watched over and over to learn and following you through your new adventures. Super proud of you too. Thank you very much. That's what's up. Thank you very much. I know a lot of people was first introduced to the channel when I was doing a lot of thrift store videos. And a lot of those thrifting videos is kind of what built the foundation and what got me here today. Not saying I'm where I am. I'm not saying I'm where I wanted to always be. Like, this is definitely not the end goal. I'm a firm believer in there's always more. There's always more you can do with your time and your resources. But I built the foundation from going to the thrift store every single day. When I was in Santa Barbara, to me, that was probably like a gold mine. It was some of the best thrift stores to me in the country. I've thrifted a lot of places, East Coast, West Coast, and the South, Canada. But in Santa Barbara, California, it was such a huge population of like just wealthy people that had a lot of resources. So the stuff they was donating to Goodwill, it's almost like they treated Goodwill. I know a lot of people that I would see thrifting all the time. They would say, yeah, they treat this place like the dump. They would just dump any and everything here. But a lot of the stuff that I would get was brand new things that was either used once or twice, especially clothing and shoes. And I would just keep going every single day because you never knew what you would find. And that's kind of how the whole consistency thing started, by people knowing that I'm going to go source and try to stock up in inventory every single day. And of course, I just kept that same method going. What I'm doing now, I really do a lot more. I focus on shoes, but I do a lot more retail arbitrage now, only because I've realized brand new items just sell better. I know there's like a huge there's a movement happening now where a lot of people they're proud to go to the thrift. They're happy to go shopping for used clothes and stuff like that. But I remember just a few years ago when I would tell people, I'm thrifting or the outfit I'm wearing came from the thrift store, I would definitely still get a lot of those weird looks. So I think now people are more open and receptive to it. But a few years ago, back in like 2011, 2010, when I was, thrifting as a hobbyist, people definitely was not on board with thrifting like that. So with all that being said, it's being consistent, trying to grow, trying to change up your business models wherever you see fit. Super important. And I know I probably lost some people along the way. They was probably following for the thrift store content, following for the Poshmark content, and I'm barely doing either one of those things. So it's just it's an experience. You know what I mean? You got to keep going. Let's see. I've always enjoyed your content. I like the shoe content. It's not my normal market, so I like it. That's what's up. I figured I would be able to help people that wasn't necessarily selling shoes and not necessarily even into that market as a whole, or even retail arbitrage for that matter. I knew a lot of people, even myself, when I would go to Ross and Burlington and Marshalls in California, I would never see half the stuff that I would see other people find. So I kind of gave up on it. But once I moved to Arizona, the thrift stores were so expensive. It was just as expensive, if not more expensive, buying used stuff than just buying it brand new. So I realized I can still get some decent margins on buying brand new items. I just had to, put that same amount of energy in and just being consistent, trying to just get enough inventory and good quality inventory so that it could transition me well from doing the thrift. But I still go to thrift stores every once in a while. I'm still trying to go in there as often as possible. I just don't do Goodwill and Savers anymore. Let's see, hit the like. Let's go. Absolutely. Hit that like button. I mean, once you hit the like button, it just lets YouTube know what we're doing is worthwhile. You know what I mean? So the likes, I know every YouTuber says hit the like button, but it definitely helps. So I appreciate it. Let's see. Can you use your PayPal for managed payments? So when I signed up for managed payments, I remember one of the first things was that you had to, one, have a social security number or EIN, but you also needed a bank account. So I think what it was for managed payments, I know I'm still paying for shipping with PayPal because I still have my PayPal debit card linked. But when it comes down to receiving payments, it's all through eBay's managed payment system. So I set my payments to weekly. So I think every Tuesday I get paid out. And at first I was doing daily, but I felt like the daily payments wasn't coming in daily. I felt like it was like every 2 or 3 days. So in terms of like accounting and just knowing for a fact, I'll see a certain payment every, Tuesday, Wednesday, whenever it is. I just switched over to weekly. And so far I've had no problems. I realized for a fact the fees are indeed lower. Before it used to be closer to 14 to 15%, depending on what you were selling. As you guys know, I was selling a lot of clothes and the shoes and some electronics. Like it's probably 10% shoes, 10% clothing, 10% electronics, and 80% shoes at this point. But I know for a fact the fees are definitely lower. I'm not seeing fees for shoes that's selling for $100 or more. The only fee that it is that eBay processing fee. So I think it's like 30 cents to process payment. So if I sell a shoe for $100, I'm seeing $99.70 getting paid out. And I love that because prior to that, even though eBay was charging no fees, I would still have to pay that 2.9% processing fee and the 30 cents when I was shipping out stuff with PayPal, when PayPal was processing our payments. So I love the fact that the fees are lower. The payouts are seeming more consistent now since I switched over to weekly. And so far, I have no complaints. The only thing I don't necessarily care for is that they do put your funds on hold when a buyer opens a return request. And the only problem with that is that sometimes buyers open return requests and they just don't follow through. It might take them 30, 60, 70 days until they actually return the item. And before, when you was dealing with PayPal, if the buyer didn't, the funds were always sent straight to you. And if the person even wanted to open a return, you would still have access to those funds. You can reinvest it. You can try to flip that money. The only difference is now, they just hold the funds. So that's the only thing I don't necessarily care for with managed payments. But outside of that, everything to me is been pretty good. Let's see. Do you have a rule of thumb when it comes to listings per week? Not necessarily a rule of thumb. I try to stay in my store every day. I try to at least adjust some listings, adjust some prices, just try to put some activity into the store. I know eBay's algorithm system, I know they like seeing that type of activity. I've realized, at least just for me, every single day where I'm listing at least 10 items or more, I make a sale. Now, I don't know if that has like some type of like linked system to it. I don't know if once you list more, you sell more. I'm not going to go that deep into it because I'm not like a huge expert on the algorithm. But days where I list at least 10 items or more, I know I'm always going to make some more sales than I usually would for that day. It might not even be those items that I list sell right away, but it might just be something that's been sitting for months that once I finish listing, now all of a sudden that item randomly sells. So I try to list, I try to, sometimes if I don't have like brand new inventory, I might delete older stuff, or I might end it and take new pictures, or just end it and then just relist it again, or use the sell similar option and list it again, just so that, it seems like a brand new listing. It'll have a brand new eBay item number on there. Just kind of putting new energy into the search. Let's see, you switching up time for live shows? Nah, just one time thing. I'm gonna be leaving pretty soon. My wife and I are going not on vacation. It's more of a business trip. We're trying to look into some new business models. So I knew I was gonna be gone by 6 o'clock. Instead of canceling, I just wanted to just do a quick pivot, still get the content out, still answer any questions you guys may have. And for those that usually tune in at 6, they would see that this either happened already, so like watch the replay. But I did try to put it in the community post, just give people a heads up. But I don't think I'm gonna be completely switching over the times. I think that 6 o'clock Mountain Standard Time works good for me, and people have become accustomed to it. I don't think I'm gonna switch it up. Let's see, Shelly Bailey, you are excellent. Thank you. That is dope. That's a hell of a compliment. I appreciate that. What is your advice on promoting the listings? Do you suggest it, and do you recommend the suggested ad rate, or do you adjust it down? Is it good? Is it a good tool? In my opinion, promoted listings is probably I hate it and love it. I hate the fact that eBay, implemented a new way for them to kind of just pull more money from us, make us pay for promoting listings. So of course it's going to be something that is good for them. But at the same time, I do think it is super beneficial, right? I think it's one of those things where if you're promoting your listing, you'll just be higher up in the search. So somebody's searching for, a phone. You have the phone, you're promoting that listing, the buyers are going to see it first. Once your item is like page 6 or 7 within like a kind of competitive market, the buyer probably isn't going to scroll that deep to check it out. Buyers are usually going page 1, maybe page 2, and that's about it. So I do like the fact that it kind of gives us some more I guess more attention, you know what I mean? But at the same time, I only use promoted listings at 1%. I've tried it at higher percentages and it didn't necessarily move that item faster. So I just promote everything at 1% unless I'm the only person with that item. And that's why it's so important to constantly stay in your store, stay active, pay attention to the market. There's days where I might not even have anything brand new to list, but I'm just researching the comps. I'm trying to see where I stand within particular categories, where my items stand in the search, just so that I can stay at a competitive space. And that's why a lot of people, when people see my sales, I try to drop sales videos as often as possible, just to see that people can see, what's actually out, how fast it's moving, like that. And people always say, I've had the same item for months in the same size. How did it move that fast? And it's two things. One, that I always promote my listings, and two, I try to focus on just quality everything. So my feedback, I try to maintain solid feedback. I try to make sure my photos are really good. I try to make sure my descriptions are really good. And I try to always get back to people as soon as possible when they have questions. Like that's one thing that I didn't put too much focus on before. I used to kind of wait a very long time to respond to questions. Now, as soon as I get questions, I try to, answer them. And that really does help create more sales. I just know there has to be a certain cutoff time for me. Usually in the evenings, like 6 or 7, I try to stop responding to emails and messages that fast. But those things really do help me move a lot of sales, move a lot of product faster. Let's see. I've moved from clothing to hard goods now. That's what's up. Clothing is tough. Clothing is unless you're selling brands that are really, really popular, clothing is tough. And I've realized that when I was in Santa Barbara, I was spoiled. The type of clothing I was finding was amazing. I was finding Rag and Bone, I'm finding APC, I'm finding Lululemon, I'm finding like top of the line stuff, especially like in the menswear category. I wasn't just finding like Hugo Boss and Tommy Hilfiger. I was finding Brioni on a regular day, Xenia on a regular day. So I was finding top end, high end stuff. And now that I'm in Arizona, the findings in terms of clothing is not that good. Like people in Arizona, they're not coming from, you know, a ton of wealth like how people had in California. So people are wearing their stuff out here. They're wearing it. And when they do donate it, it's usually on the back end. You know what I mean? Every once in a while, I'll find some brand new stuff in the thrift, but it's just not the same quality. So that kind of opened my eyes to letting me know that California had me spoiled in terms of thrifting. And I realized once I moved, I had to switch up the model. And now that you're doing clothing, the hard goods, let me know how you're doing. Let me know how your sales are, how it's been. I know for me, clothing was tough only because I found myself washing, like doing a lot of like hand washing out stains, keeping Tide pens, measuring stuff, steaming stuff. Like it was a lot more back end work moving clothing than it is in terms of moving shoes. My wife helps me take pictures of the shoes that I bring in. And she loves especially when the shoes are coming from Ross or Marshalls, they're brand new in the box or even without box. All she has to do is sometimes clean off the bottom to remove the pricing, pop off the store tag, take the pictures, good to go. When we was doing the clothing, like I said, it was so much other stuff involved that it would take a lot of time, a lot of mental energy. So let me know how you feel in the switch up. Let's see. Do you use the UPS shoebox? Absolutely. The USPS shoebox, I still use it. I ship out all my items that are brand new without box, like shoes and brand new without box. Sometimes I'll use the USPS shoebox for a pirate ship because that's one of the best platforms to save money in terms of shipping. So I still use the USPS shoebox. When I was doing a lot of Poshmark sales and I was selling a lot of shoes on there, I would absolutely use the shoebox as well. The only downside to the shoebox is that it's not flat rate. So I use it if it's somebody buying an item from me within the West Coast. If it's staying within the state of Arizona, definitely going to use the shoebox because the cost isn't going to be that much of a difference. If it's going to like Southern California, absolutely use it as well, just so I can save some money on shipping, right? If it's going to New York or Texas, I'm definitely going to be using pirate ship just to save money on shipping because the USPS shoebox is not flat rate. So you can spend anywhere between $8 to as much as like $25, depending on the weight and the size. Let's see. Vintage items, what I love now. Yeah, vintage is big right now. Vintage is very, very big, very hot. I've been following some different channels because I follow a lot of streetwear channels as well, right? And people that are really into streetwear and vintage, they're willing to spend hundreds of dollars on t-shirts. Like I've made these t-shirts. This is a sample I'm wearing right now for the new stuff I'm trying to drop. When I tell you t-shirts should not cost $500-600, like should not, whether it's single stitch or not, whether it's been made in the 80s, the 70s, the 50s, it should not cost $500-600. But the market demands that price. And people that love vintage are willing to spend that amount of money. So the vintage clothing game, the vintage like hard good game is tons of money to make in there. So I'm just trying to get more knowledge on it. Like vintage clothing is not my specialty at all. So I'm just trying to learn a little more from it. Trying to see what I can do with it because the margins there are amazing. Some people getting these vintage t-shirts from Goodwill and they're getting it from the bins. The bins is the Goodwill outlets for those of you that don't know. And they're spending 15 cents on these t-shirts and they're selling them. Even if it has a hole or a tear, they're still selling them for $100, sometimes even more. So the vintage game, it's amazing. Let's see. Terrell Williams, everybody like and share, please. Absolutely. Share the video. Hit that like button too. Let's see. Much love from San Jose. Love the content. I appreciate it, Isaac. I definitely appreciate it. Graduated from kindergarten to first grade now. Yeah, it's a learning process, but we all stepping it up, moving up as we go. Let's see. Question: why do you use weekly payouts over daily? What are the benefits in your opinion? So when I first started, I was doing daily payments, and it probably was only because the daily payment, it was brand new. As soon as I signed up for managed payments, I had it on daily, so I wasn't getting daily payments. It took like 4 or 5 days until I got my first payout. Then as we continued to go, it was like every 2 days. Excuse me. So it wasn't really daily payments. So I just figured, let me go ahead and do weekly. That way it'll be kind of just better for overall accounting, just so I know for a fact, okay, I got all of these payments, all of these items processed within this week, and this is what I'm receiving payouts for. When I was doing daily, I had to keep looking to see what items were pending, which ones weren't. And I realized that it wasn't good for me to kind of keep up with it that way. So it's just easier for me to keep up with. Let's see. I currently resell toddler clothing new with tags, mainly Nike and Under Armour brands like this. I cross-list between Posh, Macari, and Kittyzen. I wonder how well I can do on eBay. Well, Posh and I'm not too familiar with Kittyzen. I don't sell much on there. I don't sell anything on there. But all the platforms you're selling on seems pretty good. Like Poshmark, I know if you're selling women's clothing on there, if you're selling kids' clothing, you can do really, really well on Poshmark. I don't know necessarily if my categories do well on Posh, but I think you can still do really well on eBay, especially for this upcoming fourth quarter. There's going to be a lot of traffic every year, regardless of the economy, regardless of whether we're in a pandemic, how the recession is, how the economy is performing. Fourth quarter is always going to be a surgence of like sales, right? People are buying gifts. People are buying stuff for themselves, things that they've been kind of putting off onto the back burner. So people are always going to be willing to spend a little more money during the fourth quarter. That's tried and true. So now is probably a good time for you to slowly, transition, start cross-listing on eBay, get familiar with the platform, because eBay, in my opinion, still has the biggest outside of Amazon. Amazon is a different animal, but eBay definitely still has a ton of traffic, probably more than Poshmark, Macari, and Kittyzen combined. eBay is where a lot of people are still buying stuff. So you definitely want to hop on to eBay, try to get more familiar with it, and just get this money. You know what I mean? How do you create multi-variation size listings for shoes on eBay? That's a good question. I got to do a video on that. It's definitely not complicated, but just in a quick nutshell because I feel like I can do a video, but it'll be super short. So what I like to do when I'm listing, I use the LC option, but that way I'm using the same keywords that the other person that sold their item. That way I'm using their same keywords, right? But you just have to click create variations. And once you click create variations, it's probably like 3 or 4 spaces below the title. You click on create variations. Sometimes it might have sizing options on there. Sometimes it might not. What I like to do is I'll just add my own attribute, and I will just create options. And within options, I'll add the different sizes, and that's as simple as that. Once you do that, it'll give you a drop-down menu, and then you just once you have a drop-down, you create whatever SKU you want it to be. Your SKU could literally be 1, 2, 3 Nike, and you create SKU, you're good to go. So definitely just play around with it. There used to be a lot of errors and a lot of like glitches with creating variations before, but eBay definitely fixed it, because I realized that I don't see that like it always used to say need a PC before you can do this, and now I don't see that glitch anymore. So it's super easy, super simple. It's just an easier way to list tons of different stuff now too, because when I go to Marshalls or I'm going to Ross, I find one shoe in 6 different sizes. It's just one listing. I like to make several different listings because it just makes the listing process a lot simpler. Got a $4.99 super chat. That's what's up. Hot Flip Heidi, appreciate that you're doing this. Thank you very much. Definitely is appreciated. Let's see. You're early today, caught me off guard. Yeah, man, I'm still trying to stay consistent, still trying to create the value and put out the content, but I know I won't be here at 6 o'clock. So instead of canceling, I said, let me just hop on here, get it done. And for those that usually do tune in at 6, you guys can watch the replay and still chime in the comment section, Let's see. Do you ever try to cop limited edition sneakers on the Nike sneakers app? Yeah, I've tried, but bro, let me drink some water real quick. Let me tell you why. when I tell you this Nike sneakers app raises my blood pressure like nothing else, it's one of those things where I know it's you're competing against a lot of bots, right? And I know you're competing against just a lot of other people, but it's so challenging. And sometimes you can be just a second late and miss out on it. So I've tried it before. There's been stuff I've hit on in the Nike sneakers app, but I've gotten way more. I've taken way more L's than wins on Nike sneakers. So I still try. I still might tap in every once in a while, but it's nothing I put a ton of stock into. And honestly, when it comes down to limited edition hype shoes, the curve is too crazy. When you're dealing with things that are very hyped up and have a lot of like attention, as high as it is, the hype dies down just as fast. So unless you have bots where you can kind of give yourself a leg up, you can find yourself taking a lot of L's. And for me, I just try to not saying it's a waste of time, but I just try to always use my time better than just trying to get on the Nike sneakers app. I found myself waiting in the waiting room for like an hour and a half and not winning the shoe. So it's tough. So I just know for myself, I'm always about protecting my energy and stuff like that, where I realize I'm like getting upset, I'm getting uptight, I cut it out. Let's see. European luxury brands sell quick. For example, Chanel, Gucci, and Fendi. Absolutely. Those brands, tried and true. If you can get your hands on those items, they will always fly, regardless of what. But those brands always sell quick. Always. Let's see. How do you return the shoes you don't sell? Oh, hey, do you return the shoes you don't sell, or you keep them? So I try not to return shoes. I'm not going to say I've never returned shoes, because that'll be a lie. I've definitely returned some shoes in the past. I just go to Ross. The Ross that I have three Rosses like within a 5-mile radius. And I go there several times a week. So I don't want to be that person that goes in there several times a week. And I see loss prevention, the cashiers, they see me, I wave, I say hi. They know me. They recognize me all the time. So I don't want to be that guy that's buying a bunch of shoes one day, then the next day I'm returning a bunch of shoes too. It just looks bad. And for one, I know when you return items to stores, I think they pay a processing fee as well, especially if you're paying with credit. So they're losing out money when they accept returns. So I already know how the game works, and I don't want to set off any triggers. I don't want managers to start paying closer attention and saying, all this guy does is buy shoes and return them. Sometimes if I buy a shoe and it doesn't sell for what I was hoping that it would sell for, I'd rather just break even as opposed to, returning a bunch of shoes. Now, whenever I do return shoes, I might return maybe 1 or 2 if it was a bad size, and I tried to take a chance on a bad size, and then I'll return it. But in terms of returning a bunch of shoes at one point, I try not to do that. And I've even heard one story where I was talking to somebody from loss prevention in Ross. They seen me with a huge shopping cart full. This was a few videos. This was maybe 2 or 3 videos ago where I did a Ross haul video. And the person they saw me with all the shoes, and they was like, hey, do you sell shoes? And I'm like, absolutely. I try to, just be honest all the time. And they was like, there's a few other people that used to do that at this particular Ross, but the managers caught into what they was doing because they kept returning stuff so often. I guess within that 30-day window, if they bought 100 shoes, they only 30 would return every shoe that didn't sell. I just kind of, rang on a trigger for me just to let me know people are paying attention. These raw people, they want to make money just as much as I'm trying to make money. So I'd rather break even sometimes as opposed to just, trying to just return everything. Let's see. Rally Roots is killing it in vintage right now. Yeah, Rally Roots is doing real good. They got a hell of a team. They got like 6 or 7 people behind them. They got a machine going on right now. So shout out to them. I know when I first got into YouTube, I was trying to soak up a lot of knowledge. They was one of the channels I followed consistently. They real good. Let's see. What is USPS? USPS is the United States Postal Service. Early stream today. Yeah, man, we gotta do the streams early. I'm gonna be out of town for the next couple of days, leaving at 6. I couldn't even do the live show. We're not gonna quit. We're not gonna cancel them. Just gonna do it a little early and get back to schedule next week. Let's see. What do you think about buying Jordan backpacks for 20 at Ross and reselling them on Poshmark/Mercari? If you can do it, if you find the right bags that selling for, the right margins, by all means do it. Like, I know I'm focusing on shoes because that's what I enjoy, But like I said, I still go to thrift stores, and I might still be in Ross. And if I find, some headphones or some shorts or some jackets that have some good margins, I'm still picking it up too. It's still money to be made. I just know when I'm going to Ross, I'm not thinking of backpacks. I'm thinking of the shoes. I know a lot of people hit up purses there as well, and they make some good money on that. But I just kind of stay in my lane. I know what like I'm very knowledgeable. I know what I'm not. I do know for a fact if you can get your hands on those Project Rock Under Armour book bags, I know those have some good value. I know last year people was picking them up from Ross and spending like 40-50 bucks and selling them for like 120, 130. So as long as you know which bags to look for, you can definitely get into it. Let's see. I just got an increase on my eBay right now. What I'm selling is toys. So far, so good. What do you think about toys in the market? Toys is going to blow up soon. Within fourth quarter, toys blow up. Amazon, eBay. I'm not sure about Kitty's End, but I'm pretty sure Kitty's End and Macari, like people buy gifts, and toys is one of the first things people get for their kids. And as you know, I'm not a parent, but I know most parents, Christmas comes along, even if they're struggling, they're still going to want to, provide their kid with at least one good toy that, that's going to brighten up their day. So toys are going to be in high demand pretty soon. I was trying to get more familiar with it. I was checking Ross to see if Ross would have some good toys, because I know some people said they get toys from Ross. The prices are just they're not affordable enough. Like, I don't think the margins are there. And maybe I just don't know enough about toys to even speak on it, but it'll say the retail tag would be 30 bucks. And then in Ross, they're selling it for 25. And then when I look up the comps, it's selling for 20. So for me, I don't think it'll make sense to do toys in that aspect. But if you got the plug with the toys, get your money, because you can do it. I've been taking a break reselling, just using eBay for drop shipping. I'm definitely not a fan of drop shipping, but I'm not that knowledgeable on it. I'm just a huge proponent of like owning the inventory, right? Like I like the concept of just vertical integration as a whole. So for me, I'm all about, trying to own every process of the business, whether you're talking about from distribution to, shipping it out. Like, I'm a huge believer in that. So drop shipping is just like counterintuitive to what I'm into in terms of business. But I know there's people killing it. So if you can do it well, keep doing it. But I just know that's not for me. Like, the drop shipping, not having the inventory would give me anxiety. And then having to constantly keep up with how much it's moving for in other stores, man, perfect. Let's see. My eBay didn't make me transfer over to managed payments. I still use PayPal. Am I good? Yeah, I think you should probably still be good. If anything, it's probably going to be trickling down slowly but surely. I know everybody's not on managed payments yet. So I know I got on, like, even when I got approved for managed payments, there were other sellers that were approved a couple weeks before me. No, not weeks, but maybe like a week to a few days before I was. So it's still trickling down. I'm pretty sure they're still trying to, get everybody on board. So just a matter of time. Let's see. Can you do that on the app? In terms of creating variations, I only list on my laptop and my desktop. I never list eBay items on my phone, only because eBay's app was never that like tech friendly. Like the app was not the most convenient platform. It's way more convenient to buy, but when you're listing, it's a little tricky. It's a little antiquated too. So I don't necessarily list on my phone, but as long as you have the desktop, you easily be able to create it to create variations option. Excuse me. Let's see. You got 78 people in the chat. Shout out to y'all. Let's see. How has AZ Life been treating you guys? Still looking at places they're living, trying to leave LA right now. Arizona, well, I can't even speak on it that well because we all been, in the pandemic, quarantine, all that. We just moved here in December. From December to March, right before everything shut down, we was living it up. We was going out all the time. We was just experiencing different stuff, hiking. Like, I don't even hike, but we was just, moving around, doing what we wanted to do. And everything got shut down. And honestly, it's still it's still weird because the type of things that we like to do, going to the movies, going to comedy shows, festivals, none of those things are happening right now. So I'm still happy that I moved. I'm glad that, we kind of just picked up our stuff and said, yo, Cali isn't working. It's too expensive. We got to go. I'm still glad we did it. But everything is just shut down. You know what I mean? And it's super hot. It's been like 115 for the last 3 months. It's ridiculous in terms of heat. So that's a little tricky. But outside of that, the best, I'm not moving. I'm not moving again. Arizona is it. I'm not moving again unless I can get some type of property in Florida or somewhere where it's still warm and still affordable. Then I might move, but we buying a house at the end of the year. So I ain't trying to move again. I was a firm believer in moving if I wasn't happy, picking up my stuff and just out. But now we like it that much, we're staying. Let's see. I'm sorry I can't interact much. I ran into a customer. Hopefully they want to take this car home today. You selling cars? That's what's up. If you're selling cars, you out here flipping big money. That's what's up. I've taken the last 7 L's on sneakers. So many bots killing the people. Yeah, the bot game is crazy. Even some of my close friends are starting to get into the bot game, and I'm torn because they're hitting on Jordans, they're hitting on Kobe's, and I'm like, I come from the sneaker culture before bots, when we was having to just wait on lines, right? So I'm torn in the fact that people can just buy bots and get shoes that easy, but business is business. Things evolve, things change. So I'm understanding of that, but it's just crazy that how the game just changed up in terms of shoes. Before, the only way you can get shoes was waiting in line if you had connected with a ninja. Now, if you bought, that's all you need. You good to go. Let's see. Omar, what's going on? First time watching you live. I'm at lunch at 6. I'm already going to sleep. Okay, well, that's up. Now you got a chance to tap into the live show. Thanks for joining, man. That's what's up. Let's see. Does the eBay size variation only work on PC and not the mobile app? I don't list on the mobile app, so I'm pretty sure you might just want to work with PC. I can't even speak on the mobile app because I don't like listing on the mobile app. I've never done it. Let's see. Great content. I learned a lot of videos before I got into the reseller market. That's what's up. That's why we here. That's why we here. Each one teach one, share the value, keep going. Let's see. Can you sign up for Posh on the app? Yeah, you can. I think I have a sign up link in my description. If you download the app and use that code DapperAdvisor, I get $10 and you get $10 in Poshmark credit. So that's a little plug right there for the Poshmark sign up. Let's see. I don't return shoes. I just take a small profit if I need to get rid of it. Yeah, I'm the same way. I rather just, like I said, if I'm making a few bucks on it, cool. But I try not to return, a bunch of stuff. It's just bad business, man. Do you pay sales tax if your city has one? I'm not even sure how the sales tax things work online. Like, honestly, I'm really not sure because some buyers pay sales tax and some don't. So I'm not sure what rules apply to others. Sometimes I might have an item for that sold for $50 and then they had to pay $8 in tax, and then others don't pay any tax. So I'm not really sure how the whole tax things work. Now, what do you think about free shipping? I love free shipping because it's not free. Like, the buyer pays for free shipping because I just incorporate it in the cost of the price, but to them, they don't have to pay an additional fee. I've seen some people charge as much as $16 shipping. And from the buyer's perspective, the buyer is going to say that's too much. So if you're accepting offers, they're going to send you an offer. The offer they send might just be minus $16 because they don't want to charge. They don't want to pay for shipping. So it's just like a psychology thing in terms of sales. I just incorporate the price of shipping, and it says free shipping on eBay, and the buyer just pays that fee. They might pay tax, they might not, and keep it moving. Let's see. The Nintendo Wii Fit Balance Board is a hot item right now. I just sold 2 this week. I actually just sold 1, and I think I might need to ship it out with FedEx. It's like 22 inches long, so it's too long for pirate ship. So I'm thinking I'm gonna have to use FedEx Smart Post to ship it out. But yeah, I remember when the Wii Fit Balance Board was a brick. Like, you would find them in the thrift stores stacked up. You would find 10, 15 at a time, and they would sell it for like anywhere between $5 and $6. sometimes $5 and $10, and it would just be sitting. Nobody wanted it, but because so much people are working out from home, and the balance board, you can do some yoga, you can get your stretches going. People trying to work out at home, so they're flying off the shelves. And I think I sold mine for $40, and I bundled it with the game, and free shipping, of course. So, and I think I picked it up for $3, and the game was $1. So all in, my cost of goods was $4. And I think with FedEx Smart Post, I should be able to ship it out for like $9 or $10, hopefully. So not a ton of profit, but if I can get my hands on more, that's good enough profit for me. Let's see. What do you think about your Coach shoes at Ross? Have you seen any in your area? Yeah, I've seen a couple. I wasn't picking them up. I know Coach shoes for a while was not like in high demand, so I didn't even pay too much attention to it. Let's see. Trading cards right now have so much hype in the sneaker community. Have you thought about flipping basketball cards, etc.? Yeah, I thought about it. Like, I remember going to the thrift and I even seen like a big binder of cards. And clearly whoever seen the cards before me, they stole them, because there was so many open slots of like missing trading cards, right? So it was like they either stole them or they donated them and took out the good ones. So it was players that we wouldn't even remember that I was seeing the trading cards for. But I know like Zion Williamson, his card was selling for like $50,000, his rookie card. And I'm just like, what? Like, who would have thought? That's how you know everything is cyclical. Everything comes back, because I remember Gary Vee talking about he was selling trading cards when he was a kid, and he's probably in like his late 40s, early 50s. So years ago, trading cards were hot. It died down, and now it's hot again. So everything comes back in style. When do you recommend for resellers to begin stocking up for Q4? So if you're a brand new reseller, you might want to, start stocking up now, right? You might, because Q4 technically starts in a couple weeks in September. Last year, I was familiar with the concept of like Q4 sales being a big surge. So I was buying a ton of used like stuff, because that's all I was getting at that time. And I realized that when I went to the UGG outlet in Ventura, I bought a ton of shoes like around May, March. Between March and May, I bought a ton of boots, and they were just sitting. And all of those boots flew during that fourth quarter. So now that I'm a little more experienced, I've been preparing for fourth quarter since last year, since January. At December 31st, my mind was already thinking Q4 2020. So as you continue to grow in the reselling game, you're gaining more knowledge. You're going to start prepping for stuff a little better. You're going to start figuring out what works and what doesn't. That's why, for me, I switched up to brand new items, because the used items wasn't moving as fast. But I would say start stocking up as soon as you can. There's people that they only do business in the fourth quarter. They vacation, they relax, they do a little side job here and there, and they bunker down for fourth quarter for online sales. And that's where the most of their money comes from. So Q4 is huge. You might see some changes this year in terms of overall like expectations, because of course we're in a pandemic. The economy is kind of shaky, but still people are going to be shopping for sure. Let's see. Can you do variation listings after clicking sell similar on someone's listing that wasn't a variation? Having trouble creating the listing. I'm on my laptop as well. Yeah, you can still create the variation that way. Only difference is if it doesn't have the sizing option, once you click create variation, you can just create your own. So you can either you can add your own attribute and put it as size or options, and then just add it that way yourself. Still waiting on USPS to deliver my flat rate padded envelope. It's crazy. I'm right there with you. It's literally been a month and 3 days since I've ordered padded flat rate envelopes. I just put in another order earlier this week. Hopefully, I don't know if I have no clue. I don't know, because I remember I went to the post office yesterday and I asked them, and I said, do you guys have any padded flat rate envelopes? And the guy said they don't necessarily order them. They have a customer that orders them for them, and they haven't received them. So now I'm like, I don't know if USPS didn't process it yet, if they're just behind, if somebody found mine padded flat rates and they took them. I have no clue. I have no clue what's going on, but it's ridiculous right now. But you just gotta make it do what it do. If I can't get my hands on them, I'm gonna just have to ship everything via pirate ship. It'll suck because I'm gonna have to spend a little more money on every item that I'm not able to put in a padded bag, but gotta adjust. It is what it is. I copped 4 Kobe's that came out today. That's what's up. I know it was like six or 7 different colors that dropped on Kobe Day. Kobe Day was 8/24, but I know I didn't get any. I ain't even try. Shout out to you for copping them. Let's see. I mean, at Ross, do you pay tax? Oh yes, absolutely. I pay tax in Ross. I absolutely pay tax at Ross. Based on where they live, I live in PA, and there's no tax on clothes or shoes, so there's no tax when you buy them online. Good tip right there. Let's see. Oh, somebody got a steal right here. Sold my coat sneakers on Posh for $129 recently. Ross pickup for $45. That's what's up. That's what's up. Because honestly, I just didn't know people were still picking up Coach shoes like that. I remember when Coach shoes was really big, when Coach as a whole, that brand was really big, and it's probably coming back around. You probably got the perfect pair, or somebody just a fan of Coach still, and they're just wearing it. You know what I mean? So that's what's up. Let's see. You probably answered this question already, but what is your spending cap budget when you go out to source? This is going to sound like I'm balling, right? But I don't have a budget. I don't have a spending cap. Like for me, if I see a good deal, I'm buying it. Like if I got to spend more than I expected to spend on that day, I'm buying it, because I don't pass up on good opportunities. And when I used to put caps on myself and like budgets on myself, I'm saying I'm only going to spend $100 today. I'm only going to spend 100 or $50 today. I would find myself trying to stay firm on that budget, but then miss out on opportunities. But I also have a lot of credit. Like I've built up my credit to the point now where when I come across solid opportunities, especially doing retail arbitrage, there's not too many opportunities that I'm passing up on. And anytime I speak about credit, I know I always got to let people know I've never paid a penny of interest. I've never paid fees or anything like that. The whole goal of utilizing and leveraging credit is making sure that you're using a credit card that, one, gives you rewards, but two, you're making sure that you're paying off your statement in full before the due date, right? You make sure that before they start reporting your balances to the different credit bureaus, you make sure your balance is either very, very low or completely at zero. And that's something that I always maintain doing. I try to make sure that, leverage credit the right way. And I've learned that there's so much people that don't take advantage of it for whichever reason. Some people, they didn't necessarily prioritize credit in the past, and others did. I remember when I first started working in higher education and I got my first credit card. I think I was 21 or 22. I got my first credit card, and it was just a very small card. It was a Capital One Quicksilver card. My balance was $300. Then it went from 300 to 13, then from 13 to 33, then 33 to 96. And I think my Capital One right now is 1,500. And same exact thing happened when I got my Capital One Spark card. That's my business card that I use. And I have an American Express card. I think the referral link is in the description as well. That card also has about American Express has $20,000 credit limit right now. So I just slowly but surely built up my credit. And when I was 21, I'm 30 now. So this didn't happen overnight, but leveraging credit is what helped me build the business, and making sure that I was still earning more money, like bringing in more money than I was spending, was always the key. So one big tip that I'm just thinking of off the top of my head, the reason why I try to keep a balance of items that sell really fast and items that might be long tail is so that I can always keep up with my credit card. Like I never paid fees, I never paid interest, so it's tricky. Sometimes you might just have to sacrifice, and if there's a month you spend $7,000-8,000 on your credit card, by the end of that month you still got to pay that statement. So I might not buy anything for myself. I might have to sacrifice and just pay that off. But that's some of the keys to this business that I don't think a lot of people talk about. Some people might not want to talk about it because they might feel like they're giving out too much. But trust me, once you build up your credit, then you can really start treating this business like every other, brick and mortar store. Because Ross and Macy's, all these places operate using credit. You know what I mean? So once I learned that, I said to myself, I'd do the same thing. Let's see. I really like your hair this way and your goatee. Retired hairdresser hair. It shows your face. That's what's up. There's an outlet in Ventura. I lived there for years, but I didn't thrift. Yeah, there's several outlets. So there's the Camarillo outlets, and then there is the Decker outlets. Then they sell UGG and Hoka and I think Koolybarra from UGG, Koolybarra by UGG. They have a bunch of different outlets out there. But I appreciate that. My hair is growing. It took a few years, but hair finally growing out here. Getting some facial hair. I'm a man now. Let's see. The dollar store has them very cheap for flat padded envelopes. Yeah, so I'm talking about flat rate. I'm talking about the padded flat rate envelopes. So I know the dollar store has them, but I'm talking about the ones where it's padded flat rate and it's the USPS provided. And when you use it, you're only spending $7.52. That's the padded bags I'm talking about. Let's see. Have you thought about getting a tax exempt since you are a reseller? So I have a tax exempt. Some outlets don't take it. Some stores don't take it. I have one, especially for the t-shirts where I'm buying t-shirts wholesale. So I have the tax exempt, but some stores just don't. They don't take it. Let's see. It was a Coach times Keith. Oh, Kith. Okay, I'm probably talking about Kith. Well, yeah, if you got anything Kith, well, then that's going to flip. I'm talking about those basic little Coach Skippy shoes that I used to see all the time that was monogrammed all over. People not really buying those as much anymore. Let's see. If you can make money, don't turn down profit trying to play it safe. Spend that money. I'm a firm believer in that. Like, you got to continuously take the risks, and you learn every time you take those risks. Sometimes you might buy something and think I'm only going to make $50 or I'm only going to make $20. And then the market changes, and then you might make way more than you thought, or you might just break even. I never actually take like L's on shoes. Like, that's not a thing for me, but you just keep learning. You know what I mean? You just keep learning. Let's see. Leverage credit cards, man. Spend other people's money. Credit cards, profit, and pay them back. That's it. That is it. That's how America works. Spend other people's money. Let's see. How many points have you accumulated over the years? Talking about like credit cards and flight points? I have no clue. Thousands, maybe in the hundreds of thousands at this point. I just try to let it build up, but hundreds of thousands at this point. Let's see. I sell Coach on Poshmark. I get them from the outlet. I wait until they have 70% off sale. Yeah, that's the best way to do it. That's the best way to do it. And they have them 70 to 60% off sales. It's usually because the season is over. So you might have to hold on to some of those stuff for a little bit. Or sometimes I realize they'll have winter stuff on sale in the summertime. So if you can just buy those things now and wait until the summer, wait until the winter, which is only just a few months away, you can make a killing that way. Let's see, what kind of camera do you use for your photos? I use an old iPhone 6. It's just an old iPhone 6 that I use just for work purposes, and I just take the pictures with that. And it's still pretty crispy. The pictures come out real good. Let's see, what's tax exempt? Tax exempt is that form that you can it's basically like a wholesale license, reseller license, and you just don't pay taxes on that item because you're gonna have to pay taxes on it later on as well. Let's see, it seems easier to take photos and post from the phone, but the desktop is more functional. Yeah, absolutely. So I'd list my items on the desktop, and then I'll save it as a draft, and then I'll import the photos from my phone and just complete the draft in my phone. Let's see. What would you price Champion 93 18 metallic sneakers? I don't even pay any attention to Champion shoes. So I'm not the person for that. When I see Champion sneakers and Champion clothes, I honestly don't even pay attention to it. The market might be good, but I'm always on Nike, Adidas, Under Armour even. Can you answer my question, please? My bad. I probably scrolled right past it. Put it back in the chat. Let me see. Let me try to get to that, and I'm gonna head out in a few minutes. I sell Coach on Poshmark, and I wait till they have 70% off discount, and I've given an additional 10% where being military. Oh, that's what's up. I sell a lot on Poshmark. That's what's up. That extra 10% go a long way, because then that handles the tax right there too. That's what's up. Let me see if I can scroll back, find Monique's question, and then after that, I'm out of here. Let's see. Hi, everyone. Recently, I had buyers saying they didn't get the package after it was delivered with tracking. What should I do for eBay? Okay, so first, you just want to make sure you're staying in contact with that buyer, right? Because what eBay is going to do is that if the buyer opens up a case and you're not responding, or even if they open up a message and you didn't respond, and then that person genuinely didn't get the package, and then they give you a negative feedback, eBay is going to be less receptive of removing that feedback if you didn't respond to that buyer. So still respond, still check in with the tracking. If it says it was delivered and it was in fact delivered, you've done what you were supposed to do. So you don't got nothing to worry about. eBay has that eBay money back guarantee, so they're probably going to just refund the buyer, even if they did get the package or the package was stolen, whatever the case may be. You're going to keep the funds and the buyer is going to get refunded. So just make sure you maintain that communication with the buyer. That's happened to me a couple times where people said they didn't get it, but the tracking shows it was delivered. So like I said, just keep up with it. Make sure you let the buyer know, hey, I shipped it out. Here's the tracking info again. Something small like that. And if anything, contact eBay first before the buyer does. And that way you're just covering your own ass, because you don't want that person to leave you negative feedback. And sometimes people really do get their packages stolen. So you just want to make sure that you just staying on top of that. Let's see. Got a couple more questions in here. Are you more successful with sneakers or casual dress shoes? Absolutely more successful with sneakers. 100%. Casual dress shoes and stuff like that, like, I'm not sure how long the game is going to stay the same. There's so much people working from home now, so people buying dress shoes and stuff like that. I'm not seeing the amount of sales I used to. I used to buy a lot of used dress shoes, and I still have a ton. But since March, I haven't been selling a lot because people are not in offices like they used to be. Not to that extent. So sneakers is where it's at for me. Let's see. What's the deal with Poshmark taking such a high percentage? I listed an item on Posh and then on StockX, and StockX gave me more money. Yeah, Poshmark takes 20%. So that's another thing why I'm kind of over Poshmark. I'm selling items that's more expensive, so that 20% they take out would definitely make a huge impact, right? So that's kind of why I'm not selling on Poshmark as much as I used to. When I was selling on Posh and I was doing like $20 sales, $30 sales, that 20% wasn't that impactful. And plus it was, the buyer had to pay for shipping. So I was still seeing just about the same return versus eBay and Posh. But now when I'm selling items at 100 plus, that 20%, way too much. And eBay doesn't charge fees if your shoes sell for more than $100. So it doesn't even make sense to try to sell it on Posh unless I sell it for an additional $20 more than I would sell it for on eBay. So it just doesn't make sense. Let's see. USPS lost my package for 40 days, and after the buyer opened up a case and got their money back, the package suddenly started tracking. I had to reroute the package back to me. Yeah, protect your stuff. You did the right thing. Get your package back and do what you got to do. All right, y'all. So it's an hour, 3 minutes. I'm about to head out of here. I got to get some more stuff done. Like I said, the wife and I are going to be heading out around 6 o'clock today. So I'm going to try to see if I can record a video so I could drop that tomorrow. I doubt I'll drop a video on Saturday, but it is what it is. Thanks for everybody that joined the live show today. If you guys got any other questions, drop that in the comment section. Not the live stream, but drop it in the comment section. I could try to answer those later on. But definitely appreciate everybody in here. Hit the like button before you go. It definitely helps the channel grow. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.